All right. Every time I try to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say Giza Gain in a song. Hoka hey, BOOZHOO! And welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BOOZHOO, Nana BOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nana BOOZHOO, and today our Ojibwe word of the day. Eziga. Eziga. Wood tick. It's wood tick season, you guys. You gotta remember to check yourself for wood ticks. Because Lyme's disease. I got Lyme's disease a few years ago. And I had it for a few years. Oh, wow. It was like being hungover every day for 2 years. You know, it was just... But, you know, in a weird way, it was a blessing, too. Kind of got me to take my diet a little more seriously. You know, start exercising a little more. Anyway, so yeah, Eziga, wood tick. And this is the story of Eziga. And, let me think. Back in the days of the grandfathers, Eziga, she used to be the most beautiful of all the spiders, of all the Asabigashiwag, the spiders. In the spider nation, there is no more beautiful than the Eziga. But Eziga was greedy. Eziga was gluttonous. She had a really big appetite. And so the day came where Eziga was looking for something to drink. And she saw, Anamosh. She saw a dog. And so she jumped down from a tree and got on the dog's back. And she bit his neck. And she started to suck his blood. And he didn't even know. And the days went by, and she kept on drinking and drinking. And she got fat. And she got fatter and fatter. And she grew until she was gray and about the size of a ping pong ball. It was just gross. And she finally stops drinking for a second and rolls off. And now she's on her back on the ground. And the dog runs off. And she can't even turn over. And she cries out to Creator, to the Great Spirit. She says, "Get your manado. Look what you've done to me. Why? I used to be so beautiful and now I'm this gross gray thing." And he goes, "Well, it is because you did this to yourself. Because you drank too much. And you didn't know when to stop eating. You became all fat. And from now on, and all your children forever, when they feed, they're going to make everyone around them just sick." And this is the story of how Eziga, wood tick, became so gross. No, it's not. I just made that up. What should I talk about today? Let's edit out that story. It was stupid. Okay. So, this is the podcast about Ojibwe language, culture, and history. So, yesterday, I got a note from my cousin Linda. She goes, "You know, when I close my eyes, You sound like your dad. And I go, yeah, well, I think it's the Bena accent. And it got me thinking about Bena. And you can really learn a lot about history just by watching the trends in your own little town. So my dad grew up in Bena, right? And he used to tell me stories about how, before they had movie theaters, there used to be traveling guys who would come to your town, put up a big sheet, get out this new invention called a projector, and show movies for the kids. And all the kids in the village would come together and watch these outdoor movies. And the movies would be old westerns. And the kids just loved them. They thought it was the greatest thing. John Wayne, Cary Grant. They even watched the old Western musicals. Gene Autry or whoever. Maybe not. I don't know. But there was a time in Bena there where all the kids would wear, cowboy boots and dress like little cowboys. And they had horses and they loved westerns. He said you'd see all these little shenanigans staring up at the screen, cheering on the cowboys who were, fighting the Indians. And then you go back even a little before that, So Bena is one of the last of the old Ojibwe villages where all these families, they stayed together. You'd have a house just a stone's throw from your brother's house and your mother and father's house and your cousins. And even the people in the town who weren't blood cousins, they felt like relatives. Everyone lived together. So when the tourism industry really took, a lot of Italians, or as they say in Bena, Italians, would come up and vacation. And you look at the old pictures, and now the Indians are all dressed up like Italian guys. They're wearing the fedoras. They got the the dress pants, wife beaters, but short haircuts, little mustaches, and Bena went through a period where that kind of Chicago Italian fashion had an influence on them. And then, let's back up even. No, and then you go a little further. I don't know. Yeah, so then the 70s come by. And AIM, that didn't start on the reservation. That started down in Minneapolis. And so all these young agitators would come up to the res and start having these rallies. And so then the 70s came by. And people started growing their hair out. And you started seeing a lot of, braids and and then that kind of came and went in the 80s. And then the 90s saw a time of new trends, where the sagging pants and that gangster culture. Now Bena's kind of like the tattoo capital of the world. If you're from Bena, there's a good chance you have something tattooed on your hand, like Res Girl, Daddy's Girl, or maybe your boyfriend's name, who's no longer your boyfriend, is tattooed on your neck. Anyway, so yeah, and you can just sort of see the trends of history by, in a little town like Bena. And so yeah, Bena definitely has an accent, but it's not just the accent that they have. It's how they pronounce certain words wrong. like tiger. What's a tiger, you may ask? Like lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, you mean a tiger? Yeah, that's what I said, a tiger. And people in Bena, they wrestle. Hey, you boys, quit your wrestling. You don't want to wrestle with a tiger. Oh, you mean wrestle? No, yeah, that's what I said, a wrestle. And a mushrat. Oh, I saw. We got a mushrat in a trap today. What now, Uncle? A mushrat. You mean a muskrat? All right. So, quit your roughhousing. Roughhousing. Don't roughhouse. Quit your wrestling and roughhousing. Anyway, Bena. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. I didn't even get around to making any jokes. I don't know. This was kind of a funny episode. You want to add anything here? Right. Well, there you guys. Thank you for watching. And and also, thank you so much, everybody who contributed to our GoFundMe campaign. I think we're up to $2,300 now. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I don't even know what to say. So, miigwech, chi miigwech, big thanks. And Gizakain, I love you. Having said that, miigwech ganawabieg. Thank you for watching. BOOZHOO, Nana BOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. Oh, but Nana BOOZHOO, I hear you saying, aren't you afraid that the people from Bena will write hate mail for this episode? Well, no, because people from Bena don't know how to write. Just kidding. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minawa. Hawa.